Hello, how you doing? Isn't this a beautiful place? Quite extraordinary. I'm teaching near here today, so I thought I'd take advantage of driving nearly 2 hours to come to a nice beautiful place. And down there are some caves. In fact, there's a church, there's a hermitage down there with amazing paintings inside. And when you see somewhere like this, you think, oh my God, how did I get to be here in this most beautiful place? Well, in fact, that is actually this week's topic. We're going to actually ask the question is, how did you come to be where you are now? What crucial event way back meant that you are here now and not somewhere else? Let's find out more.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is exploring how totally ordinary, easily forgotten moments can just completely alter the trajectory of your life. It's based on a really fascinating reflective essay.
Yeah, it really is a classic sliding door scenario, isn't it?
Right, exactly. I mean, we're wired to think life's turning points are these massive cinematic moments, you know, like signing a huge contract or getting a dramatic job offer.
Well, for sure. We always look for the big fireworks.
Exactly. But this essay argues that our destinies actually pivot on the quiet, mundane choices.
And that is a really compelling lens. Today, we're going to examine the philosophical concept of the chain of causality. And more importantly, we'll explore why the human mind inherently acts as a storyteller.
Because we kind of desperately try to create neat beginnings and endings,
Yeah,
right?
exactly that. We do it to make sense of the absolute overload of information we experience. It gives us this comforting illusion of control over all the chaos.
So, to illustrate this, the author shares this great anchor story. Over 30 years ago, they randomly bumped into an old university friend on the street.
Which led to an invite for a spontaneous cup of tea.
Right. And at that tea, there happened to be another friend visiting who was working as an English teacher in France.
And that single chance encounter completely shifted the author's trajectory. I mean, they were pretty bored with their job at the time, ended up picking this visiting friend's brain, and within weeks enrolled in a course for a TEFL qualification.
Teaching English as a foreign language, for those listening, it's just wild to think about. If that visiting friend hadn't been sitting in that living room, the author might have stayed in that unfulfilling job for decades.
But instead, that cup of tea eventually led them to move to Spain, learn a new language, and build a deeply fulfilling career in the Basque Country.
It's crazy.
Well, what's fascinating here is tracing that chain of causality backward. We naturally look at that cup of tea and say, well, that was the turning point.
But it wasn't the actual start.
Right, because the author only ended up at that tea because they chose a specific university years prior. And they only chose that university because an older friend hyped it up over a few pints on their 18th birthday.
And to afford those birthday points, they needed the savings from a high school library job, which, by the way, was only organized because their mom happened to have a specific friend. It just keeps unraveling.
Exactly. It highlights the tension between seemingly random events and human agency. The chain stretches back infinitely. It makes an ultimate first cause absolutely impossible to pinpoint.
Because our brains do not like infinite, chaotic chains.
No, they don't. We crave meaning, so we naturally draw artificial circles around specific events like the cup of tea and declare this is where everything changed.
We suffer from this narrative fallacy because we need a neat starting point.
Spot on. But in reality, life is a continuum. It's a river fed by 1,000 unseen streams.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because this isn't just an interesting thought experiment about someone else's timeline. Think about your own life. Every unplanned meeting, every mundane hesitation, or even a missed train you experience carries immense weight.
They aren't just minor inconveniences or random Tuesday events. They could literally be the hinge of your entire future.
It is both intriguing and honestly a little daunting.
We navigate this tension constantly. We can trace the coincidences that led to our current reality as far back as we wish. But we never know which seemingly random encounter is actively rerouting our destiny, until the moment has long passed.
So the core takeaway for you today is to treat the present moment with gentle awareness.
Yeah, regardless of whether you lean toward fate or free will.
Right. The next time a friend suggests a spontaneous coffee or you find yourself hesitating over a seemingly trivial choice, remember that you might be standing at the invisible crossroads of your next great adventure.
Chat about these questions and write down your opinions and ideas. Number 1. Describe the picture in as much detail as possible. Have you ever spoken in public? Number 2. Can you describe the events that led you to studying English right now? Number 3. Try to describe the events in your life that explain why you are where you are, doing what you do. Number 4. Describe what might have happened in your life if you had made different choices in the past. Number 5. Do you believe in fate or destiny, or do you think we have freedom of choice in what we do?